2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Hey, it's Picking with the Professor. My name's Tony Dunn. I'm the host of the C3 Panthers podcast. We're trying to integrate some more, chopped up content throughout the week, that isn't so long form, continuing to further that football conversation. And each week I'm going to meet with head odds maker from mybookie.ag, and we're going to go through the NFC South football lines and some other key games that I think are of interest. At the end of the show, I'm going to make the professor's picks. I'm not a sports gambler or a professional one by any means. I'm just a history teacher. So let's see if a history teacher, with the help of you guys, can make a little coin this year betting on some football. So let's go ahead and get into it with Raphael Esparza from mybookie.ag. Raphael, thanks for coming back this season.
Oh, thanks for having me. I had fun last year, and when I got the phone call and email to do it again, I was excited. Let's get going. Carolina Panther team is going to be interesting, and I think very fun to watch all season.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to kind of gauge, right, because you're not going to be looking for the Panthers to win a ton of games this year, so you're really going to have to be looking at that line to see if they're going to be a spoiler, right? And for me, I think that one of the plays is going to be the over a lot when it comes to teams. And this week, the Panthers are going on the road. They lost by the line last week, I believe, was 3 points. At home in their home opener against Las Vegas, but now we're on the road against a Tampa Bay team that's coming off a loss. And right now on my bookie, the line is at 9, and I've looked at some other places, and I think you guys are giving more points, like maybe even by a half point or a whole point than some of the other places to the Bucks, and I think it's deserved. I'm sitting here going, I'll still take the Bucks with the 9. I know it's a lot. I'm probably looking at the over in this. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see a lot of points being scored in this game just because the Saints were able to put some points up on the Tampa Bay defense. You figure Tampa Bay's offense is probably going to be a lot better this week, especially with the negativity they've gotten with the press. Tom Brady, he's old. He shouldn't be playing. He should have a rocker back there. I think Evans might be a little bit more healthier this game if he does play. And let's face it, the Panthers still have some banged up on defense, especially in the corner angle with Jackson. Could be probable, but he has a bad wheel for an ankle, so maybe not be exposed. But I think the best play in here is probably the over at 47.5. I think a lot of points can be scored here. Just face it, the Panthers' last 5 games against NFC teams, all 5 of them have gone over. So if you like Carolina, I say maybe wait until before kickoff, because I can guarantee this one might move to 10 just because it's going to be a very popular bet, Tampa Bay, on teasers, money line, parlay, survivor pools, whatever. This number might move, so if you like Carolina, maybe take those plus points. Let's face it, I think Tampa Bay is going to still need a couple more weeks to gel as a unit. So I can see Carolina backdoor covering, but I totally agree with you. This one flies over to 47.5.
You saw the Panthers' offense was formidable, right? Is that under Teddy Bridgewater, is that it was not – they didn't have trouble moving the ball. Robbie Anderson's exciting. We still have the best back in the league. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't think they really lost that game, or they lost the game. I'm not sure the Saints necessarily won it last week. So I think the Panthers are going to be able to put up some points, but I do think the Bucs are the better team, obviously, right now. And then we move on to the Falcons are going on the road in Dallas. This is a game that I expect to get a lot of, I know you guys are expecting a lot of action on this game. Dallas is always a big draw. What are your thoughts on this? It's a 4.5 point spread for the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's a bunch I always tell people there's a handful of games that you may just want to put a big X in, just sit back, watch it, enjoy the game. This one could be one of them because, let's face it, the Dallas Cowboys built this team to score a lot of points like the Kansas City Chiefs, and they couldn't score last week. And new tattoo Zeke feed me on his stomach didn't look like he was full after that game. So I'm not 100% sold on this Dallas Cowboy offense just yet. And Atlanta, boy, their defense had some holes. Seattle was able to move the ball in the second half pretty easily, throwing up 38 points on that defense. Here's another one. Maybe take the over in this one. I know it's 52.5, a lot of points, but I don't see the Falcons being able to stop the Cowboys if they can get that offense rolling. I want to say take the Dallas, and all you NFC South Panthers and Saints fans are probably like, yes, let's make the Atlanta Falcons go 0-2 to start the season. I think that could happen. I think the Cowboys win this one, and the Falcons go quickly 0-2.
I agree with you. This is a game I want to sit back and watch and not really lay much coin on because I think it's a trap game. I think first of all, Seattle is just better. Is a good team this year. They've added parts. They really opened the stable door and let the horses run. Russell Wilson being the jockey, driving the train right there. And I also think that Atlanta is not as bad as they looked at home. So you could see this go a couple of ways. You did point Dallas. The offense was not the juggernaut that people want to see. And I think that we get too attached to these rookies sometimes. And CeeDee Lamb, it's so exciting. And yes, he was exciting. I'm actually, if I had to place a bet, I would take Dallas as the safe one. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys got some suckers and this was an under, actually. But let's go on to the Saints on the road facing the Las Vegas Raiders. Boy, is this the most exciting game in the history of football sports betting because Las Vegas has a team?
It probably will be now. I mean, the Vegas is still really bummed that the Golden Knights are not in the Stanley Cup. I tell people, yes, the Raiders are here in Vegas and we're ready to rock and roll, but so far, Las Vegas is a hockey town. The Raiders need to win. They won last week. Now, if they can win Monday night opening up, then that maybe can convert some of these hockey fans to Raider fans. But boy, laying +6 at home. I was supposed to be at this game inside the Death Star, as they're calling it, in my backyard for the Raiders game. I'm going to take the home points in this one. I took the Broncos on Monday night plus the 3.5 because the public was all over Tennessee. And the public will continue to probably bet the Saints just because the Saints beating Tampa Bay last week. The Saints probably one of the heavy favorites to win the NFC. I'm going to see if I can get a better number, but I think the Raiders take this game. I'm not going to say they'll win outright, but I think they're going to keep it close. I think the Saints win by a field goal. But give me the Raiders on this spot.
I think this is a sucker bet right here with the Saints. Is the 6? You see them beating Tampa Bay. You've heard so much about that New Orleans defense, but what we got to remember is Michael Thomas is going to be out. I think he rolled it.
He's out for this game.
Yeah, a couple of weeks beyond potentially. What you saw too, one of the points they were able to get that pick 6, which really padded their points total last week. I don't know if you can necessarily rely on this Saints defense to put a ton up here. I do believe the Saints are going to win. I like that Las Vegas pick, the Raiders pick, but I might want to say I don't know what do you think about the under here and the Saints really putting the screws to that Las Vegas Raiders defense and then just trying. They're going to have to get Josh Jacobs going. I don't know if Derek Carr is going to be able to do what he did against the Panthers against this Saints secondary. A lot of talent on that defense. I'm kind of sitting here thinking the under on this game and the Saints win.
Yeah, I'll probably look at the total. The total might move. It's 49.5, but there's some 50s still around. I don't think it's going to stay in that one. I think it'll probably close around 49. And I agree with you. You figure the Saints, with no Michael Thomas, they're probably going to want to get Kamara going early like they did against Tampa Bay. You figure the Raiders are going to try to establish the run and keep that Saints defense tired out. So, yeah, I think the under would probably be the best play here on the total.
All right, let's go to the game that a lot of Panther fans are going to be interested in. Cam Newton, our heart was broken when the Panthers parted ways with him. He goes to New England, a new jersey. Belichick is gushing over him, and he runs the offense to victory last week over the Dolphins. They are on the road now against the Seahawks. They are 4-point dogs. The over-under in this is 45. The Seahawks are the darling of week one. Do you think that Russell Wilson will be able to do what he did against the Falcons, against Bill Belichick's defense? A lot of missed people in that defense from last year.
Yeah, I'm throwing that game against Miami out, and I'm not overreacting on week one. If I really did, then we should be talking about how the Jacksonville Jaguars are undefeated. The Chicago Bears are undefeated. I'm throwing week one over hype out. But I like Seattle. Seattle looks good. I figured they were going to be, their offense is going to be much better like last year. You figure they're always going to have great defense. But you know what? Seattle is the team that just looks like they have fun playing. The coach is always running around on the field high-fiving. The players are always smiling. And the offense is cheering the defense. Same thing. They just look like they're always having fun as a team. New England, you said it. They're missing a lot of pieces. People backed out because of COVID and not playing. I like Seattle this one. I think Seattle's going to be, I shouldn't say surprising, but would not be shocked if I see Seattle playing in February trying to win a Super Bowl. This team's going to be really, really hard out in the NFC. Give me Seattle at home.
Their defense, though, is not the juggernaut that we are used to, but the secondary with the addition of Jamal Adams is really good. And, you know, what I think here, though, is that these teams are going to, or at least the Patriots are going to want to go in there and run the ball like they did last week. Maybe not the same exact game plan, but if you're going to go on into Seattle with this Patriots offense that has some limited weapons, you don't want this to be a shootout. You want to grind this down. I do think Seahawks is the play here. Is there any chance that this game, all of a sudden, the offense with the Patriots, they pull something new out with Cam Newton, and we take the over at 45?
I hope they do something new with the offense for New England, because if they run that, there's no way Cam Newton's going to be healthy the whole season if he's going to run as many times as he did in week one. I'm going to have to say that the under is probably, if you like New England, and I think that New England wins because they established the run and they run the ball. If you like Seattle, then maybe see if the total continues to drop like 44.5, then maybe take the over. I guess it all depends on what you look at. If I like Seattle, then I think Seattle's going to put some points up against that New England defense, so maybe bet the over.
Why is the line only 9 in favor of the Chiefs?
You know, we're going to get buyback. I mean, the Chiefs are not going to go undefeated. I mean, they're on the road against the Chargers. The Chargers still have a really good defense, even though if this is a shootout, there's no way the Chargers will go toe-to-toe offense per offense with the Chiefs. So I think that's the reason why. But here's another one. This is probably going to get bumped all the way up to 9.5. Would not be shocked. It's the 325 game, so would not be shocked. You might see 10 on this one. So if you like the Chiefs, bet it. If you bet it now, if you like the home dog, which the home dog did pretty well last week, wait, because I can guarantee you get the better number.
I like the Chiefs. I'll take them at 11. I think the Chargers defense without Derwin James is not going to be able to do much against the Kansas City Chiefs. And if we continue though with the Baltimore Ravens, they're on the road against the Texans. The Texans were not. I don't know whatever to think about the Texans here, but the Baltimore Ravens did exactly what they did last year. They just smashed the Browns in their opener. I think this is like 4 openers in a row. They've just destroyed people. The Baltimore Ravens, they're 7-point favorites. Do you have any faith that the Texans can cover this?
I mean, I think they can do a backdoor cover. We're not shocked. I mean, I've been telling people I don't think the Ravens are going to be as potent like they were last year because during the pandemic when there was nothing on TV, what do you think these football coaches were watching? How to beat Lamar Jackson in that running game. So I think there's going to be games where we're going to say, oh, this ain't the same Baltimore team we saw last year. This could be that game. I mean, Houston played a horrible, horrible game last week. I see them bouncing back. I thought this number was a tad high. I made Baltimore maybe like a 4 or 5 point favorite, but you're telling me a solid touchdown on week 2? Yeah, I'm not overreacting on week 1. The Ravens beat the Browns last week. I'm not overreacting. I think Houston can hang around.
The Browns have a solid pieces on defense. It's just they turn out to be the Browns, and they're never good. The Bears continue to have problems on that offense. While they did sneak away with a win, it was really because of the DeAndre Swift drop. Are the Giants, their offensive line is atrocious. I feel like the Bears will be able to get pressure against the Giants here. But their offense, the Giants' offense, was not totally impotent in this game. 42, that number is intriguing to me. I feel like that this could, it's going to be right at there. Where you thinking the play is here? Is it Chicago at home? Is it the over in this game? What do you think?
I don't know. This was a toss-up. I can't believe the Bears could be 2-0 if they win this game, even though they should have lost last week. If the Bears win this game, they're going to have to win because of that defense. And I didn't think the Giants was going to be able to score on Pittsburgh's defense, which they didn't. I'm not saying the Bears' defense is like the Pittsburgh Steelers' defense, but it's all going to be on if Mac plays. He's questionable with a knee injury. So I want to wait to see how that one. Even Quinn is questionable with, I think, an ankle injury. So if those two guys are not 100% or maybe one of them's out, then I'll probably just throw this game aside and maybe look at the over because I think the Giants will be able to move. And you figure the Giants' running game is going to be much better than what we saw against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Are the Green Bay Packers, is their offense going to do what it did last week each week, or are we kind of fooled because Minnesota's defense was horrid?
I've been telling people, watch out for Aaron Rodgers. He's mad. He still has the mustache. And the number one thing, he is single. He's got no girlfriend to bother him and stuff like that. Keep an eye out for the Green Bay Packers. I like them against this week. I'm shocked that this one is not a solid 7, not 6. I like the Packers. Detroit losing that game of a drop touchdown, that could be haunting for not just 1 week, but a couple of weeks. I think Aaron Rodgers lights up the Detroit Lions.
All right, we'll finish you up with this. What's the sucker play this week? What do you got? What are you hoping everybody puts their money on?
Well, let's see. Last week we had a huge day as the survivor pools got racked up last week with Washington winning. Jacksonville winning. So we had a really good week with those bets. I would think probably one of the bigger sucker bets is people are going to pound Tennessee -8.5. This one won't be probably -9 because people think, there's no way Jacksonville is going to win 2 or go win back-to-back games or play good for back-to-back games. Well, look at Miami last year. Miami was they're going to tank for 2 or tank for 2. You know what Miami did all last year? They didn't win games, but they sure covered a lot of games. I think Tennessee wins by a touchdown. Jacksonville covers again.
All right, you're listening to Raphael Esparza on Picking with the Professor from mybookie.ag. Tell them how they can get involved on MyBookie and make some money this year.
Yeah, jump over to mybookie.ag. We got the 50% sign-up bonus. We have a whole bunch of stuff. We have NFL. Big Ten football is coming back next month. The SEC is getting ready to roll in college football. We have some UFC this weekend as well. We have a whole bunch of action going on. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, baseball. Just jump over to MyBookie, grab all those great football prop bets. And we're in week 2 in the NFL. Can't believe week 2 is already here.
Make sure you use the promo code OVERTIME. MyBookie's running special with overtime right now, and they will double your deposit up to $1,000, as well as overtime. Our podcast network is coughing up $500 for someone who joins MyBookie and plays a little cheddar this week. It's a fun way to at least to look at the games. Go ahead, put a little skin in the game and have some fun. Raphael, we'll catch up with you next week.
Take it easy. Have a fantastic week and stay safe.
All right, Panther fans and football fans, should I say. Now I'm talking to a larger audience than just Panther fans. This is for fun. I just want to note that I'm basically a buffoon who just likes football, and I'm going to be trying to find ways to further that football conversation. And this season, what I'm going to do is the professor's picks, and we'll just see how it turns out. Can an idiot gambler win? Right? And we'll see. So I'm going to give 4 picks this week going into week 2 that I would lay cheddar on. Now, you guys do not take this as gambling advice. I want you to get in the comment section and tell me what your locks are, what you want to lay the cheddar on, what teams you think are the best. And you can also hit me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles and let me know what your picks are. Tell me if you think these picks are right. My first pick this week, the professor picks the over in the Panthers at Bucks game, 47.5. We saw the Panthers offense. We talked to Raphael Esparza about it. He liked the over as well. I'm going all in on the Chiefs at -9 as well. I'm not impressed with the Chargers as they went into Cincinnati. Yes, it's week 1. That defense, they do have a good defensive line, but I don't think they've got the horses anywhere without Derwin James or on that offense that are going to be able to hang with the Chiefs. The Chiefs look good on both sides of the ball. Give me the Chiefs -9. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers was just chunking that ball downfield. I know that they want to tell you that they don't have enough receivers, but they've got Devontae Adams. He's the best in the game. They've got Aaron Jones, and they've got an angry single Aaron Rodgers. Give me the Packers -6. And I like the under in the Saints at Raiders. I'm not overly impressed with the Saints offense just yet. We saw the dink and dunk. We have no Michael Thomas. Now, this one's a risk because the Raiders defense, no bueno, right? But I think what the Raiders are going to have to do is run the ball. And I don't think that the New Orleans Saints are going to put up the points that they did against Tampa in this game. So give me the under in that game. All right. Next week, we'll be back. We'll talk with Raphael Esparza. I'll put in the picks. We'll see where we're at. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Go check out mybookie.ag using the promo code OVERTIME. And they'll double your deposit as well as the Carolina. They'll double your deposit on your. They'll double up to $1,000 on the first deposit. As well as Overtime's going to get some skin in the game. Take a screen grab of your first deposit. Send them an email at overtime at advertisecast.com. And they're going to select one winner at the end of September. Next week, we'll be back with the professor's picks. We'll see how we did. And until then, keep pounding.